I've always gravitated to the coast. I love being near the ocean. Just down the road is the Pudding Creek Trestle, and it's been refurbished as part of the coastal trail. One of the wonderful things about this piece of property, even though I'm a couple of miles inland, when the winds are right, I can hear the ocean. 20 years ago, I discovered Fort Bragg completely by accident. It's a small town, some wonderful natural beauty to it. I started out as an architect years ago. It was actually quite a stressful profession for me. Took all my possessions, I put them on the sidewalk, sold them, and I moved. And I actually had a friend who had a real estate agent in Fort Bragg, and this was the first piece of property he showed me, and I fell in love immediately. I just knew that this was the place that was going to be my next home. I was pretty sick, actually, at the time. I was diagnosed with HIV before it even had a name, and so the idea was that I would be somewhere where I could take care of myself and not lead such a stressful life. I didn't expect to be alive very much longer after I moved here, but I put my hands in the soil and I began to come back to life. I discovered the healing power of nature for myself, and I felt reborn. There are groups of redwoods that surround this property, and that alone creates this wonderful sense of majesty. I have just under 8 acres, and I would say I've landscaped somewhere between 3 to 3.5 of them. I have fields in front and woods in the back, and then the middle is the garden. I knew so little about plants really when I moved here, and after a few years I decided that the best thing to do would be to work at a local nursery, and I went to work part-time for one of the great nurseries here in town and learned about plants, and I worked in exchange for plants. There was never any master plan. The garden evolved one plant at a time. I would find a plant that I loved, bring it home, and then wander around with it and try and find the perfect place for it. It's been trial and error. Over the years, I've killed more than my share of plants. And it's a deer-proof garden. The deer wander freely through. I've had a few false starts. The deer have eaten a few plants over the years. I've learned a couple of lessons what not to plant. But basically, everything that you see here is deer-resistant. One of the wonderful things about living here on the coast is that things just love to grow. When I put the pond in, it felt a little artificial at first, but plants just seem to blow in and they root themselves. I've probably only planted half of the things that you see around the pond. The rest have just started on their own. After putting in the pond, turtles found their way here. Frogs found their way here. It's like a wildlife sanctuary in a way. I was sitting on the deck one day and this red fox came up and joined me on the deck and just sat there as if he didn't even know I was there. The garden has really evolved into a series of outdoor rooms. There is the heather garden, the rhododendron garden, a greenhouse, which is not a greenhouse really that grows vegetables or anything. It's more of a place for people to hang out. Then there's the raised beds area, which originally was vegetables. I turned it into a berry garden. This is my 20th year in the garden. I decided it was finally time to bring in the house element. I discovered house several years ago, incredible inspirational photos that I've looked at and gotten some great ideas for things to incorporate here in the gardens. My guests have always enjoyed wandering through the gardens, but there's never been any place for them to really sit and relax. I created an idea book of things that I really wanted to have here. Found some great sectional sofas, a couple of fire tables that I really liked. I fire up the fire pit and I can prop my feet up and have a glass of wine and stay warm in the evenings. The sofa I can relax on. My cat loves to sit on it with me. We wrap up in a blanket and enjoy the evenings here now. And I was never able to do that before. I love sharing this place with people. My health now is as good as it's ever been. I wake up every day with this joy and excitement about life, and I can't wait to get outside and do whatever it is that the garden is asking of me that day. I had no idea that this place would become what it has become. It has really taught me to slow down, to appreciate the moment, to appreciate what's in front of me, and it has really taught me to just be in the now.